Hello and welcome everyone to another wonderful game here at Dice and Delinquents. We have our wonderful game tonight of Eta Carinae, and we hope you
Eta
enjoy
Carinae.
every time.
It's a tradition, guys. I can't
I,
let it go.
I dig it. I dig it. I still find it fun. Hey, it took me forever to remember. I'm down. We will see how long it takes before I forget again. Either way, we hope you enjoy tonight's wonderful episode.
All right, so does somebody want to do maybe like a short recap of last week's game? Anybody have a particularly good memory?
Oh,
I
I
know
wrote
you're not
things
looking
down.
at me.
I was just
Hold on.
looking
I
at
wrote things
everybody.
down. Let me find my book. In the meantime, if anybody has some information while I'm trying to find my book.
I I met some
After
friends. I panicked. I was
you
gonna
panicked.
straight up murder a dude, and turned out it was a bad idea, and I didn't do it, and it turned out for the best that I didn't. But yeah, I panicked real bad. But I made friends and got some information.
That is very true. So
yeah.
Flick, they ended up at the previous session ending being in the middle of the street. Hey, what are you doing, kid?
Yeah.
And then met Herc and Bartholomew.
Yep. Herc and Burke. Herc and Bart.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say Herc.
Herc and
Herc and Burke. I
Uh,
just yeah.
Yep. Our
Some of my
favorite
new
Herc was
favorites.
Beetle and Slime.
The best
And
combo unit I've ever seen, man.
so with a little bit of deception, getting pretty close with them, and then kind of coming clean and seeing them that they were okay. Got some information. Like eventually leading back to the party is like the party is like gathering all of this information on like the Opal Gree base and what they do and who they are and entry points and et cetera, until Click came back with two new friends buzzing down the street and then
Making their way downtown, walking
making their
fast.
Oh no.
flying quickly.
I was living my best life, dude. It was like, yeah, right now.
Living the best life. Came in as the party's gathering information, and then Zero kind of off in the corner, like doing some like ritualistic spell casting. The party kind of talked to each other, got all of the information out there, and Herc and Bert ended up giving some pretty heavy clues on kind of what's been going on at a not discounted rate. They ended up leaving, but gave you their contact information so that way you could follow up with them in case you had any other questions. A couple of transfers had occurred as you guys had gotten more information, specifically about stuff that like you really wanted to know but just could not find. Ending with Zero and Crone going into the market district to go and buy some spells, so that way that Crone had access to a couple more spells. Finding Tandem and Sons, the family-owned magic shop, where you met Tandem, who is eccentric, and we had
I'm a
left.
god, babe.
We had left as you guys were walking back through to this kind of like market district, and urgent warnings all over on every tablet, people crowding as Uncle Roger's daughter once again has gone missing. So I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to start us. I'm going to start us down in the drip, deep down below where the marketplace is, deep down below, as this kind of notification gets blasted out. It hits every single device that's in the anywhere, including the drip. Notifications on all of your tablets or whatever device you currently use, pings out with a large yellow exclamation point, like streaming caution banners, and
Amber Alert.
yeah, Amber Alert, large buzzing, as a reel of text goes across saying Uncle Roger's daughter goes missing again. Like, please be on the lookout. Providing a picture of her as well as just like a description of her. So at this point, I think that right now it is Dax, Click, and Akai are currently in that kind of like that base down below. What in this moment? So what in this moment are you guys doing?
I just real quick, I I wanted to send a message to H and B because I'm going to screw up their names. That's what I'm decided to call them. And being that I have no money, I'm just asking them, hey, do you have any free information on what that building was with the music? Because all I know is it had an odd symbol and there was music coming out of it. So this is, and I would just say it's mostly curiosity, not really. I was just wondering, like, free information, like, what was that building? So, other than that, I'm going to be peeking over probably Dax's shoulder because I believe they already gave one translator and they were working on the next one. I was like calling dibs on the next one. So I would have been anxiously waiting and asking, like, can I help?
Yeah,
Is
so
there any?
as you like send out this message, you get a response back very quickly as like this is kind of like not out. This isn't their scope of like selling information. This is just something that's like external of them.
Okay.
They sent you something back and it basically just says, Opalgary had been trying to shut it off for years and nobody can figure out how to do it. The bass and music seem to come out of that building, but nobody knows how to shut it down.
Could I like reply like, is the building like occupied or is it just an empty building that is just blasting loud music?
It's empty.
It's an empty building that just. Okay.
And as you're kind of like sending messages back and forth between them, you're like also peering over Dax's shoulder, looking at what they're doing. So Dax, like what are the implements and tools that you're using to be able to like make stuff?
I've got my Tinker's tools, and then I forget I do have a different pair that I can work with as well. Woo. Yep, Tinker's tools sounds good.
Nice. Yeah, so scattered in front of Dax, like several like tools of all like different variation. You're working on I think like multiple things simultaneously, right? So not only are you working on this like translator, which because of a small bug over your shoulder, may be getting a little bit more attention right now, but working on things simultaneously regardless, as Dax, you're like, you have this like mentality or like, the intelligence to be able to just like split your attention and, working on things at the same time. So as you're working on Click's translator, what is the other thing that you're working on?
Weapon of returning.
Nice.
Yeah.
So what is the weapon of returning?
Actually, sorry, artificer thing here. The device, the translator is a device she has to make. The weapon of returning is actually one of their infusions. So that one doesn't require anything. That's just something they do.
Nice.
So it adds an effect to a weapon with the thrown property.
That is very awesome. So,
Yeah.
you've like, what is the weapon that you're casting this infusion on?
Oh, you don't have it yet.
Yeah, technically a morning star.
Oh yeah, right.
Oh.
Yeah. So, you.
I haven't changed it yet, Travis.
Okay, we talked about this.
We
So
did.
you have your morning star. You kind of, wave your hand. In this like moment, the
Magic.
what is Dax's like kind of magical or technical energy look like as they've infused to this weapon?
It's like just a blue light, misty type of cool breeze going on.
Nice. So a cool breeze flows over the weapon. You see it kind of in your fashion, kind of like your imbuement of this weapon occur. And it becomes a morning star of returning. On the other side, as you've like casted this out, Click, you're watching this happen over Dax's shoulder. And
Sorry.
Cat of returning.
Yes, I'm sorry. See, get used to it.
So as you're watching over Dax's shoulder, you see this cool like blue mist fall over the maze, or the morning star infuse this weapon. You see the like magical energy go into it as a like a real magic item in front of you. On the other side, Dax, you're working on this translator. Again, for those who did not hear before, a small, like, round silver device, maybe the size of a dime to about a quarter. So maybe like a nickel in size. A smooth, silvery surface. Dax, you've popped it open and you're working on the interior of it, where these like the circuit board lives. Will you give me a just like an engineering roll? You get an advantage on this since you've already built one prior.
Would I be able to fathom that? Would I be able to appreciate the fact that they are actually manufacturing two separate items at the same time?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, this is the first time you've ever seen somebody craft something simultaneously, as waving one hand and then working on something else in the other.
Well, I was just wondering, would I know it's two separate things, or am I just like thinking that she's just working? This is somehow one thing, or is it easy to tell that
the comms of returning? Give them back.
Yeah, that they're actually like it's two separate things. Would I?
Give me a history, just like a base intelligence.
So, an intelligence or history?
Yeah, you can do intelligence or history, whatever would be for you.
They are the same.
I figured.
Comprehension check.
Yeah, so you can understand like kind of what's happening, and that Dex is using like magic on one side to infuse this weapon, and then on the other side is like tinkering using like this like engineering skill to be able to like craft your thing. And Dax, you finish it right in front of it. It takes you like 10 minutes to finish this thing out.
Can we make it canon that Dax is ambidextrous?
Oh,
has to be.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah, I think we just did actually.
Yeah. So Dax, you finish it out, and you could like give it to Click right now, or but the last thing you have to do is basically just pop the top on it, and this will be the same thing where like as soon as you put it on, it has that kind of like camouflage where it goes invisible, so nobody can see it on the person who's using it.
Who else needed one? I'm asking.
All
Alright. More tinkering.
In your head, I'd say, I think this would be good for everybody.
I continue tinkering.
Oh,
Nice.
Well, because Zero has one now, so he can understand. Or sorry, so they can understand our languages. Click, you have one.
oh yeah, I just
Captain
got one.
apparently knows every language known to man. So,
No, but that is accomplishable.
Give me a break.
I know a spell.
So I think it's me and you, Dex, technically, as like highest priority.
And then I would just in Dax's head I'd say, oh, you know, it'd be a really great idea. If you're making something returning, like a net, that'd be great. You could just throw it and then bring it back. That'd be a great idea. I think it'd work a little bit better than that heavy ass Morning Star.
In my head, it's just exploding. I like the way you think. A lot of tinkering going on today. I like it.
Nice. So you then crafting like additional translators for everybody?
Yeah.
Yeah, so the time is just getting cut down as you're able to like do these even quicker. You'll do the next 2 over the course of the next 10 minutes.
Oh, I was gonna ask if I could help, but fuck.
Yeah, like you're flying through these. I'm not even gonna. I'm not even gonna make you full. Like you fly through these things. You have a mastery of making these translators, and you think that solidly, like materials wise, it probably costs you like maybe 10 credits to make these. You think that you probably sell them for on the upwards of 400 credits. So this could be a way for you to like make some serious money.
Welcome to becoming a cash cow.
All right.
Hot damn. All right.
So, Dax, while you're kind of like tinkering, creating these other 2 translators, Click looking over your shoulder. Akai, what are you doing in these moments as like you see Dax very quickly working on these things and Click like right over the shoulder?
Oh, sorry. One thing real quick. The information that H&B gave me, I would have disseminated that to everybody. Sorry, just so. Go ahead.
So everybody, Dax and Akai, you guys both now know that there's this like building that's like, you know, maybe 2 streets down from, or 2 streets across from where Opal Breeze like hangout is, that just like is blasting music, but nobody knows why or how to turn it off.
So yeah, I would type maybe useful. So, yeah, but sorry, and then that was it.
Yeah, I mean, outside of seeing credit symbols as I'm watching Dax just become a factory. Let's see. I got all the information I wanted for that, for the building so far and the operations. To my understanding, we're going with the initial plan of having somebody infiltrate. And I think we've all agreed it was me.
You got the account.
Shut up! We don't have to share that around. Just kidding. So I guess I'd be curious. Do these people we found out they were walking up, right? The group came up together, right? Okay. So I'm gonna do some research on anybody like using like the community tab effectively, or like a social media grouping, to see if they've talked about going there, like some sort of showboating going on, of being introduced to this 20-minute party, quote unquote.
Okay.
To see maybe if there's something that they all have in common on their like pages for Play for Mates, or something that would make them appealing to be invited to this, because this kind of hinges on me getting invited, and I'm not sure how to do that.
Gotcha.
Because thus far I have not been. So.
Yeah, go ahead and you can just give me like we'll just do like a straight like tech check. So go ahead and just do like a D20 and then plus your intelligence modifier.
Okay, so that's effectively the hack.
Nice.
Ooh,
okay,
yeah.
So you're looking through. You find a like in UR Citadel. They of course have like a bunch of social medias. There's one that's a primary here that's called URSoc. So it's like URSoc. And it is like, it seems to be the primary one that the citizens of Uncle Rogers uses. You find a plethora of people on there who are all kind of like, you know, discussing like neighborhood problems, you know, these like kind of like what I would say is like more like uppity issues. Like
people aren't slowing down on the street.
Yeah, exactly right. Yes, exactly.
It took me 15 minutes in the drive-through. I don't know what they're doing there.
Yeah. Why are they sitting at the park at night? This doesn't make any sense.
Karen Central, basically. Karen Net.
Yeah, you have like a ton of this stuff, and you're like, I'm in the wrong section. And as you're kind of like looking through, you realize that there are like tiered sections. What you're looking at is like the tier 2 section. You're able to like see what people are posting about, and it is just the most ridiculous garbage like that. As you go down, it's like, down to your like tier 3 marketplace. All it is ads. The whole thing. There's a constant stream. It is so fast you can't even read them. There are thousands of ads simultaneously that are coming up for Tandem & Sons for some reason, but you're not sure why. And as these things are scrolling past, it forces you down a layer. It's just nonstop recruiting. There are just a ton of things out there just saying like, do you want to be like the next person that would be proud inside of your family, because you're going to want to join the galactic military, and you're just like this, nope, and keep going down, and you hit the drip, and it is dead silent. There is like almost nothing occurring, but you find this like really old thread from like months prior. They're talking about this one lady who just seems sloppy, and she's like talking all about this, like how she got invited to the Oval Green like upper apartments, and like it was the most fantastic night of her life and all of this stuff, and he's explaining it, and then literally the next day she never says anything again.
The Opal Green is conservative. They don't like to kiss and tell. Okay. Never speaks again. Alright. Oh, shit. Okay.
So is there something like particular that you're like trying to find out? Like,
I was attempting to look for evidence of what someone invited would preferably like look like, or have like connections to, something that would make my page appealing to those who are picking these people out. I don't know if it's him, if it's the head honcho specifically, or if it's like they're getting a selection of people based on like who his like under people enjoy, and he just picks from that. Because we still don't even know if it's officially like an actual like orgy situation that's happening in there, or if it's a cover up that's
book club.
Yeah. Book club. Well, obviously not book club, but you know.
Yeah, so one thing that you notice from this lady's page is, like, when she's talking about it, she says that she was selected and it was her time. Meaning, like, and you, with that 19, the 22 that you had rolled, you kind of formulate in your brain, like, okay, they only allow people to go up one time. Like, there is a singular time in which they do it, and they will always look for new people. And if they're gathering people, every few days, it means that, like, they kind of cycle and are always looking for somebody new. Now, you probably imagine that, like, that they are not just being pulled from the drip, but being pulled from, any floor that they could get somebody to come, like, come down to the drip and, like, basically be of service. But nobody else is talking about it because obviously bad stuff happens if you talk about it, especially on social media.
Gotcha.
So while Akai is kind of like digging through this information and like getting an understanding of, like, okay, how am I going to do this? Where our camera is going to come out of the drip, going up several layers, up and back to the busy marketplace, artificial birds flying by, Tandy in the background. I'm a wizard. And we go and zoom down into a crowded area. Everybody kind of like having that like, what's going on? Oh, did you see Uncle Roger's daughter? She's gone missing again. And we zoom to Crone, who you have now had like this kind of shiver up your spine. Like, very intelligent guy. That of kind of what's going on, and that's that they must have another one.
So I would kind of look at some of the other people around. How did they go missing this time?
We don't know. It looks like she might have ran away. And you can see that they have like a this person, obviously like a very like well-dressed woman, but she has an octopus for a head, and the tentacles are coming down, and she has like arms as well, and the tentacles are kind of scrolling on her data pad as she's like holding it on both sides, and you can see she's on like some sort of like conspiracy theory site. And as she's kind of scrolling, go ahead and just give me like a quick perception. She's scrolling like very quickly through everything. You see a ton of random stuff. It looks like, one of person's just saying like, oh yeah, like obviously, like his daughter is actually like a lizard, and that like it could not possibly be her, and she must have like died 10 years ago, and he's trying to keep this like doppelganger as a pet. Like her running away because she's afraid of like Uncle Roger and all this stuff. But like what you notice is like as you're seeing these things pop up, they're almost immediately being deleted.
Might I see your pad? I happen to notice you might be glitching a bit there.
Oh yes, this thing is always glitching, and she passes you the data pad.
And I'm gonna just kind of scroll through, and I'm assuming once again, they're going away as fast as I'm seeing them.
Exactly right. It is essentially like a pop-up occurs. You'll see like a bunch of random stuff with just like, you're in like tier 3. This is your Soch. And so tier 3 of your Soch is just like constant ad like spamming. But like you'll see stuff come up of just like, like buy our arms and armor, they're the best that could be for the cheapest price, blah 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 blah, all of these ads going on. Several recruitment ads are even in this tier as well, and then every once in a while you'll see something pop up and it'll say like UR's daughter like isn't what it seems, and as soon as the title pops and you're like, hey, what is this, it is instantly gone.
So, can I start noticing a pattern off of them then? Perhaps they are starting to use a similar, by our standards, a URL. So maybe a consistent URL.
So it seems like think about it like a like social media posting, right? So right. It is like a user, and then that user is like posting to a group, and that group is effectively getting immediately shut down.
The whole group?
Yeah, the group is like completely shut down. As soon as they say something, that group gone.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah.
I will thank them. Appreciate it. By any chance, would you happen to know the standard rates at the port?
The standard rates at the dock your ship?
Yes.
I think it's 2 credits, and then they do like the 0.85 credits after that per hour or something like that.
I see. Thank you. And I just walk away.
Can I have my data pad back?
I handed it back to her.
Oh, okay. She's like, Must have fixed it. And
thief. He's a thief.
Yeah, you just kind of like walk away, and Octopus Lady looks a little bit just like confused, watching you walk away. Zero is closely following behind you, but at this point is not talking because they are afraid that Tandy.
So with that, I'm going to begin. Can I try and take a look at perhaps any new doc listings that might be coming in? More particularly from why am I suddenly forgetting them? The same company that we started with,
Oh, Tito's?
Tito's. Thank you.
Yeah.
Can I?
Tito's Medical Supply, they always have ships running stuff. They're not like the biggest distributor, but they're big enough where, especially in UR, because that like businesses and companies that are in UR, it's pretty hard to like get imports in there. And once you're in, it very much is like a large corporation style thing, like where like you have to be coming in at the lowest price possible, but you're selling so many units that it like doesn't matter. So Tito's is everywhere in UR, but nowhere else.
Gotcha. Am I able to just looking at some of the entries, just as a general pattern? I know it'd only be off of a day, or maybe I can see a day or two. Can I just get a general pattern of kind of maybe the general ship times that they would come in?
Oh yeah, like when their merchants come in to like drop stuff off. Yeah, for sure. And like it seems somewhat sporadic, like like these things are randomly occurring, but the longer that you sit there, you realize more and more like, the structure in which Tito's must have, where they're like bringing stuff in and leaving in a very like meticulous way. So how long will like Crone wait like at the docks, just kind of like hanging out and like kind of categorizing this?
Um, Depending upon if I'm able to just kind of skim through it through like screens and stuff up front, probably a good 30 minutes.
Okay.
If it's something I need to sit and watch a bit more and pick up on, probably an hour or two.
Okay, yeah, you think that if you spent like an hour, you could get a pretty good idea, maybe like an hour and a half, you could get a pretty good idea of like their structure and how they work.
Okay.
Okay.
I'll do that a little bit, and just while I'm sitting there, just occasionally, I whistle that tune of mine, just watching things.
Nice. Yeah, so you whistle, you watch, you can ascertain over the course of that hour and a half that they are so meticulous on their dock times that they will come in every single 15 minutes, and it is on the dot. And you didn't realize that when you came in, you also came in on the 15-minute, but like it's just one of those things that like you just docked because you were told like, okay, it's your time to dock, and the ship kind of goes autopilot and goes in so that way everybody's safe. But Tito's is the one who initiates the commands, and they are happening every single 15 minutes, and it is one ship every 15 minutes. They come, they dock, they get all of the stuff off. They seem to be done within about an hour, and then they're coming back to their ship. They're getting on, and then they're leaving. Okay. So while Crone is sitting and watching these things happen, we go back down through the sewer, like into the drip, hearing that echoous sound as we go further and further into our building once again. Dax and Click and Akai. Dax, you've taken this like 10 minutes, you just fabricated two more of these translating devices, and you have stuff, you're ready to go.
I'm gonna start that tinker on the net though really quickly, unless I have to go.
Unless you have to go where?
Anywhere.
Oh, no, I mean,
no,
you guys are
okay.
good.
Still on the hoverboard,
Yeah,
then just tinkering away.
as far as I know, we
on
were
the
waiting
hoverboard?
and Nat, I think
That's
she's.
where I was doing my tinkering at. I was just
Oh,
I
God.
Well,
Yeah, for sure. So,
because
yeah,
it's new.
you're, so are you like when you're tinkering, are you tinkering like on the net or are you tinkering on like the hoverboard?
On the net, on the
Okay,
hoveroboard. I'm
gotcha.
just on there because
oh,
it's
you're
new and
like
I don't want to
sitting
get
on it.
off of it. Yeah, I'm
Oh,
just
okay.
I'm not going anywhere or doing anything.
I
I'm
thought
just sitting there.
you were actually like fucking with the hoverboard.
Oh no, not yet.
Right.
See him
So,
just leaning
what are you?
across,
Yeah.
stitching it.
So you're like creating a net? Is that what you're doing?
I am tinkering. Well, yeah, I guess I
Yeah.
do have to create it. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Out of bed sheets. No, I don't know.
Wires.
So,
sorry.
Dax, you kind of like you have always on hand, like essentially like material 3D printers. So like anything that's like
Nice.
a basic item that costs less than 20 gold or 2,000 credits, you can essentially fabricate for much less, and it's just raw material.
Oh.
And so
2,000 or less.
yeah, so like yeah, you essentially can fabricate a net. It just takes time, but you don't have to spend any time doing it. It just does it. So you'll have like a blueprint that's like net, and then you'll say build net, and then like your thing, your 3D like material printer is going to be just fabricating while you're doing other stuff.
Perfect. Thank you.
Yeah, of course. So you've set it to go. You know that this is going to take like an hour. The 3D printers just go slow. So you know that it's going to take like an hour to fabricate, but you can work on something else. You can, maybe like you can like discover different stuff about Opal Grey if you'd like. Anything you really want to do.
Yeah, I should probably do some research while
Um,
I'm here.
they would probably notice like the entire time I've been looking at Dax and scribbling away in my with my artisan tools
Nice.
or my artist tools. Yeah.
So Click, go ahead and give me a artisan's tools. Do you actually have artisan's tools as
I have
the
painter's supplies.
Perfect.
Yeah. I have no proficiency with it, but I have it.
That's great. Go ahead and just roll that out for me. And
I can't wait to see what this looks like.
Okay, so how do you, if you don't have proficiency with it, what do I roll? I mean,
so it's a D20, and then it'll be plus your charisma.
oh, that's about right.
Yeah.
Okay, now we talked about this before. I'm not good. I already did the drawing. So this is Okay, so just a charisma.
Yeah.
Straight. Yeah. Okay. What the heck? Oh, there it is. Oh, yeah, that's about right.
Yeah. We're working on it.
Actually, if you want to show everybody in my sketchbook there in the journal, the one show all.
Oh, you have one already.
Yeah, I already I finished it.
Oh, that's perfect.
It's a work of art.
So,
It's like photorealistic.
So, Click is working away like very
Meticulous.
very fast scratches, right? And working away while staring at Dax, and after just an insanely short period of time, maybe a long period of time. How long do you think it takes you?
A long time to do this.
Oh,
This
that's
is
super long.
For this quality. Oh yeah, I've been working on this, and I just finish it, and I'll walk it over and hand it to them. And that is Dax. Oh, hold on. I gotta change something here so the viewers can see it.
Yeah, I can't see it.
Oh no! Did you do a show all?
I'll do all. Here we go.
Yeah. So yes.
You should be able to see it in Click's sketchbook.
Yep. Oh, my sketchbook isn't.
All I see is cards, sir.
Oh, sorry.
So there.
Okay, here we go.
That's why I've been like bouncing up and down because I'm trying to peek
Now is
around.
it there?
Like, there we go. Yes.
Yeah. Do you see it now?
Okay.
I see this. It's great.
Yes.
I love it.
And for the viewers at home, I've got their character sheet picture side by side with my excellent drawing so they can see
The detail.
the exquisite detail.
Yeah.
Classic.
Thank you,
Click has been working on this for a while.
And he's progressed. If you notice, they have feet.
So Click walks over and puts this. And is it like digital, or do you just have like a
Oh no.
pen?
I'm an artiste.
Okay, pen and
This
paper.
is physical. Yeah, I hand it over. This is a portrait.
So Click hands you a drawing that you see to you, Dax.
I look happy,
It's
Click.
so-
Thank you. And so
It's
mobile.
so
I love the
cute.
feet.
Yes, you have them.
It's perfect.
That's so cute.
Thank you. If you spread it around, if you have any commissions you want done, I've got the whole paint kit. Still working with single color right now, just to not show off. But
Keep that in mind. Thank you.
yeah. If you want me to draw something, you let me know.
All
Spread
right.
it around.
I think the captain would appreciate one of these.
Of him, absolutely.
Yes. Regal, yes.
I'll
I think Cody's into it too with how them eyebrows just shot up so quick.
yeah. I kind of used up all my creative effort with that, so it'll take a little time.
Oh, yes, yes.
Yeah.
You rest. You need
The
the rest.
creative
Yes.
process.
We'll keep this between you and me.
Yes. And it's clear I'm just spouting like I've heard artists talk about movies and painting and writing, and I'm just jumbling it all up. So it's like, yeah, the motion, the background, and the sound. It's like, wait, he's talking about movies and then painting. I'm that good.
For Nikki, this is painful.
Oh yeah. For anybody who's even remotely artistic, I apologize in advance. It's gonna get rough. This is just the start. It's gonna get worse.
It's gonna get rough.
Yeah, I apologize, but
It's not rough yet.
I'm dead.
yeah, it's downhill from here.
So Dax, you have this drawing of yourself. Akai had some blueprints, but the blueprint that you were able to discover only really showed you where the thinnest point on these two, the ceiling to the floor of the sewer. With a little bit of engineering work, Dax, you think that you probably could figure out some more stuff here that Akai just doesn't know?
Have at it, girly. I have faith in you.
All right.
So if you want to just give me engineering, and if you want to take your time, then really kind of scour over them, I'll give you advantage on the roll.
Yeah, I've got the time.
Okay, yeah. So go ahead and roll your engineering, but you can do it with advantage. Oh yeah. So this is you are going over these in great detail. They are so confusing for a normal person because this is a somewhat government styled them kind of mapping out buildings and how they're supposed to be. But then on top of that, it was obviously somebody who was inexperienced in creating these kind of blueprint documents. But with you just kind of being able to okay, this goes to here, and this goes to here, and this goes here. You start connecting everything together. You think that you can get a like good understanding of what the first floor looks like, and in fact what the rooms are supposed to be as you kind of are looking at them. You can see, like, based on room size and like what electrical components are going into each one of these things, that you can figure out what the rooms actually are. So the entire first floor, you'll know what every single room is.
Perfect. All right. I'm going to relay that when the captain gets back.
Perfect. So this takes some time to be able to kind of like go and pour over. Akai, you're just going into these, like, trying to understand and get into that, like, okay, how do I get picked? What's happening? Like, all of the stuff. You realize that all it's really going to take is for you to be new in this scene for them. And if you're coming from the drip, you have even a higher probability of getting chosen, because people in the drip, as everybody knows, don't seem to matter.
Right.
So if you post it from here, you are probably going to end up getting picked, but you know for sure that nobody gets picked twice.
More than once.
Yeah.
Okay, because what you just said was nobody gets picked once, and I'm like, that doesn't.
Twice.
Yeah. Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you're pouring over that. Click had been working on his stuff and is watching as like Dax is kind of pouring over these documents, as well as simultaneously the 3D printer in the background is like slowly going back and forth, like forming this net. Captain, you complete the your like investigation of these like terminals when the ships come in, all of this stuff. What are you doing now?
During this time, would I also have been able to kind of notice that some of the crates maybe coming off the ships, do they look much the same as the ones we had pulled?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Every single one is basically identical.
I figured.
Yeah.
Okay. So with that, I'm going to begin heading back to the ship. And I'm going to form a message on my data pad, sending it to everyone, basically saying just, another child is missing. Tito's comes in at a regular pace. It's expected that they might still be the culprits. I will be back down within a few hours. Do we have any updates?
So everybody receives that message on data pads. And then Akai, I heard, I saw that you had your hand up too.
Yes. I because Akai doesn't usually wait for a group update if it's something that he deems important. Once he's definitively realized that like there's really no finagling this is going to be a one-shot thing. He would have specifically said to the captain, and only the captain, from all evidence that I have surmised, we have one shot at me getting in there. So depending on if that changes what you're getting and what your plan is, I will follow you to the end. But I'm just telling you, one time, and that's it.
Oh, and Akai, there's one more thing. Sorry, I completely forgot. You think, based on everything that you could see, you think that statistically in D&D, okay, so not a like an RP thing, statistically in D&D, you think anybody with a charisma score of 14 or higher would be able to get picked from the drip?
I'm sitting at a happy 16. I'll be okay. Okay. That's different than what I thought you were going to say, so I can erase that. So, I wouldn't have shared that information with him, obviously, because that's a little specific to gaming stuff instead of story stuff. But yeah, no,
Right.
to the captain, it is just, we are going to have one shot at this if I get picked. So adjust accordingly and let us know what the plan is, if anything is updated.
I'll inform as soon as I'm done adding the new spells.
Gotcha.
All right. So, is anybody else going to say anything, Click or Dax, to the message that Captain sends?
So, Click, this would have to be you. Dax is taking care of some kids at the moment.
Could you
Okay,
refresh
so,
my memory on what the message was? I was paying too close of attention.
I said once again, a child has gone missing once again, and Tito's seems to be on a regular schedule. It's possible they're the main source of delivery. Also, I am collected a few spells. I will be down in a few hours. Do we have any updates or other useful information?
Well, you would have received actually, Captain Cronin, real quick, when I gave out the information on the building with the noise, I would have sent it to. He would receive that, right?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah, if you say everybody, assume that it goes out on data pads.
Yeah. That's what I was. Well, that's the only way I can communicate with him remotely, anyways.
Yeah.
I can't call. So the only thing I would ask is I would say just the information I found. There's a loud building. I don't know if we can make use of that somehow. I that's all I would say is that's what I was able to. That's my productivity.
And I'm going to relay the. Sorry. I'm going to relay the information I knew and pass out the rest of the communicators.
Are you passing out like what the rooms are, or are you just like what you had found?
Full tactical knowledge of these rooms.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, first floor, and Dax, you know that so you got like the first floor nailed. You know what every room is. Floors 2 through 28 seem to be nothing. Like they're just like empty shells, where like nothing would be really like livable. You assume that like they're keeping only the first floor and the 29th and 30th floors maintained. So there is nothing in between except for just like the building structure. Okay. You know that they have a like a cargo bay. It has 2 ship docking stations that are large enough to hold 2 people. So they must have like a couple of 2-person ships. You know that they have like a mechanics bay, where they can do like, modifications and all of that stuff. The front does not have 4 turrets. It actually has 6. So you know that like some of the information that you've gotten is incorrect. The outside has enough connect ports to have 12 hover bikes, as well as 2 full-size buggies capable of holding 4 people. So they have plenty of vehicles. There is a sleeping quarters, a eating quarters. There is a like working station for where like documents get done. So like any like paperwork that needs to be filed or anything like that, there is a room specifically for that. There is a recreation room that has arcade games, and it has a pool table. there are 2 storage rooms. One is for large shipping containers. The other one is for small items and crates. As you're kind of like, depicting what these things could be, you're like 90% sure that inside of like crates and barrels and stuff like that are going to be like, essentially like the narcotics. There is a bathroom, there is a captain's room, and then there is an armory, all on the first floor.
Right on, Jesus. Got it.
The last thing, Dax, is that based on everything that you can see, like there probably are between 30 to 50 Githyanki warriors, all
Nice.
that are being contracted by Opalgree. This is a large building, and based on like their bed situation and how much like stuff they basically have available to them to keep them happy, they have to have between like 30 to like 50 people working for them.
Jesus. Okay. I'm telling them all that.
I appreciate the updates. I will plan accordingly. And I'm going to head back to the ship to try and add the spells into my list.
Oh, you're heading back to the ship, or are you heading down to the drip?
I have to head back to the ship to add the spells to my spellbook.
Gotcha.
It rhymes.
Okay. So yeah, you head back to the ship. Zero accompanies you, and you guys head back. Down in the drip, you guys like realize like Captain's not coming back to the drip tonight, right? Like Captain, you're saying like you're gonna stay the night over on the ship, right? Because we're getting to like,
so it'd be
end of day.
Yeah, it'd be like 6 hours. So yeah, I wouldn't be able to make it back down there until the next day.
Yeah. So do you send anything out to like let people know, or are you just kind of like, okay, I'll like let them do what they're gonna do, and I'm gonna go back to the ship?
Well, I did say in my first one that I was gonna get the spells on, and once that's done, I'll make my way when available.
Okay, so Akai and Dax, you guys know that it means that Captain's going to be staying on the ship overnight because you know how long his spells take. Like you're just like, cool, he's going to be down here soon.
Yeah.
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 Well, are you going?
Go ahead.
Are you gonna sleep on the ship, Akai? Are you going back with the cap or no? I'll sleep here too if you stay. If not, I'm gonna go back to the ship.
I don't think it would be a good idea for us to stay down here without Cap and the kid, because they seem to have the most information. So
That's fair.
I would like to go back if you two are okay with going back.
I'll shrug. And you'll hear in your head, I don't sleep, so doesn't matter to me.
I don't either. Perfect. So let's go back then.
Right.
Okay.
I assume Cap took his motor, right?
Yeah.
And
we all have our own.
And Zero did too.
Yeah.
I know. It's whether or not Zero took
Yeah.
his board that I'm worried about.
Oh
mostly.
yeah.
He took
No, Zero
Okay.
definitely
Yeah.
took theirs.
Okay.
I couldn't get him to not.
Yeah.
That's yeah. Can't take little kids' new toys away from them. It just doesn't work. Okay. So I'm hopping on my motor then, once we're ready, and buzzing over to the elevator.
Cool. Yeah. So all you guys.
That's just for reference. I put in there.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah. All you guys end up going to the elevator. You go inside. Give me just like a perception check, and it could be everybody in the drip. So Akai, Click, and Dax.
Ooh.
So Click and Akai, you guys like Click, you have this feeling, like an odd feeling as you're kind of like walking through. That kind of like tingle, like am I being watched? Akai, you spot people who are looking at you from higher level floors. Not only with that nat 20, not only do you see them watching you, you can see that they're taking photos with their data pad. They're taking note that you're here, and like that you guys are walking through the streets essentially, or not walking through the streets, but like going on your bikes to the streets. And as you like clock that happening, you can see, like, looking around, there's nobody else doing what you guys are doing. Nobody's traveling around. Everybody's hiding in buildings, and so people are like taking notice and taking watch and taking photos.
Just to be clear, I just get the impression that I'm being watched. That's it. Okay, cool. Thank you.
And it's nighttime, right? Like this is effectively the nighttime on the Citadel that we're heading into.
The drip, they never oscillate the lights, and so it's always just bright.
But the timing is specific.
Yeah, so like for you guys, like you're starting to get tired because your internal clock is saying like, okay, it's time to go to bed.
Okay. Can I send a quick I guess like a hack pulse to like short out their stuff for like the couple seconds it takes for us to get too far away, since we're going 40 miles an hour.
Yeah, I'm going to say that just like based on time, you literally have enough time to see it. And unless you go back and actually like try to access like their Wi-Fi, you're not going to be able to do anything about it. And like, it's not just one area, it is multiple.
Multiple, like, how many people are we talking here?
You clock at least 3 people who have taken photos as you're traveling. First one, you're like, that was weird. Why are they doing that? Second one's like, okay, something's going on. And the third one, you're like, they're watching us. They're for sure watching us.
Okay.
Oh, real quick, if I got the impression that I'm pretty certain somebody's watching me, I just can't tell.
Yeah.
I would.
Cloak.
Yeah. Yeah, I'd panic and hide, but I'm traveling, so I don't know if, would that even work?
Well, you're basically just like changing your chitin to the bike's chitin.
Well, I'm on a board.
Or to yeah. Oh yeah, to your board.
So it would just look like a lumpy hoverboard. I guess.
Yeah, just give me like a stealth with disadvantage, so straight for you.
Okay.
Yeah.
We need to give you like a box to like pretend like you're like a little delivery package from Amazon or something.
Metal Gear Solid it? Yeah, dude, totally. 17.
Yeah, you feel good, like that your Metal Gear Solid is working. And
but I'm like I'm certain if I had that feeling, I would just to both of them in their head say, I think we're being watched. I can't tell. Just a weird feeling, and that'd be it.
I'm gonna, as we're riding, since we can't stop and I have my helmet on, so nobody can see my mouth moving. Not that it's gonna be moving anyway, but like just in general, no noise coming out. I'm gonna send effectively a voice memo to Cap, just from internal voice, effectively, and be like, hey, so something happened. I'm pretty sure 3 people just clocked us on the way out, heading to the ship, and they definitely took pictures. So, letting you know that that's something that we might have to deal with. I didn't get a vibe as to who might they have been. Just noticed that they did it, and then we were gone. So, Click noticed it too. Because now he's a lumpy board.
Did it look like standard equipment for the area?
Cody, was it like standard pictures, or was it?
It was. They were taking
pads, right?
Yeah, from what you can see, it looks like they were taking it off of like data pads.
So not like surveillance equipment or okay.
Yeah, for sure.
No.
I didn't even see that.
So I'd send back. I have a feeling it's either civilians or it's someone masquerading as civilians due to the fact that it was on a data pad and they weren't super. I mean, I don't know if they noticed me clocking them, but they took the picture and then we were gone, so I can't tell if they tried to hide afterward.
If it's standard equipment for the area, then it's not likely to be high quality. And so it's most likely to have gotten a blur. I think our identities might be, for the most part, intact, so long as a little makeup or disguise makeup tree could be used. Otherwise, you've been noted, but...
And when we get back to the ship, I'm going to do a search, a general search, but especially located in the drip for any sort of posting of images that look like me or Dex or Click.
Cool. All right, so you guys make your way to the elevator. You go to the like docking station. Again, like it kind of like takes you up to the 3rd level, and then you shift and start going sideways. It kind of comes to a stop, and it opens up, revealing that kind of steel jungle as there is like several people all hours of the day working, because being on a citadel, it is not more or less like day and night as it is you're awake and when you're asleep and when you're supposed to be working when you're not supposed to be working, right? There is no like like, hey, it's daytime. So just tons of people like kind of coming through. You make your way through, weaving your way in and out of people, eventually getting back to the ship. Again, the ship is like locked in by its thrusters. The dock has come up and kind of surrounded it and locked it in. As you approach and like come up to the door, you hear the ship's voice come out and say, Dax, it looks like there's a problem with the thrusters. Can you please fix it?
On it.
Is it talking about the big fucking clamp?
I think it's talking about our parking booth. It's what it is.
I mean, I don't fucking like it either. I'm on it.
Fair enough.
You walk into the ship, and you guys all kind of do your like nightly rituals as like you need to start to go to bed. The day has weighed heavily, so don't worry, we'll go around.
Okay. All right, cool.
I'm just gonna start by our roll 20, and so Click, what does Click do for like the nightly ritual? And we're gonna take a break in like 3 minutes.
Okay.
So if everybody can kind of a
Oh,
quick summary.
real quick, I don't sleep at all. I can perform light activities as long as it's not strenuous. That's what I do in the evening.
Mhm.
So I would have asked um, uh, Dax, because I've worked in manufacturing. I would have asked like, I got all night here. Is there anything I can do? Any little tasks that need to be done? I mean, nothing strenuous, but otherwise I'm just going to start painting the walls.
What? What about the walls? What would-
Oh, I got colors in my kit here. It's got other
Oh.
colors.
Bro, the ship
I
is
need-
her baby. You're threatening to just paint her baby.
I need help with organization then, Click, if you could organize my nuts and bolts and things that I need and so I can find them easily.
Hey,
If you wouldn't mind.
Yeah,
It's a big
yeah.
task.
yeah. I mean, like I said, I don't sleep, so yeah, sure, no problem. I'll show me where it is, and then I just spend the evening. Again, nothing strenuous, but yeah,
Just
that'll be
organizing.
like that would be like my nightly routine is
Nice.
probably going to Dax and saying, hey, what now?
Perfect.
Yeah.
And I just give him a couple of big jars with nails and bolts in it. Yeah, just need this
He just has to
separated
take
out.
inventory. He needs to count them all too.
And he gets so excited.
Nice.
And I do.
All right.
I ask, like, do
Awesome.
you want me to like just sort them, or do you want me to like count and categorize? Maybe.
All of it.
Okay, cool.
I need it counted and I need it categorized. I
Absolutely.
need all of that. Thank you so much.
Yes. No. Oh, thank you.
Hashtag anything to keep him from painting the walls.
I mean, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, because that's the thing. You all know, if you don't give me something to do, I'm going crazy. So yeah,
Nice.
that would be it for me.
Perfect. Okay, so Click, you are sorting nails, bolts, nuts, and categorizing and doing all of these things. Next on our list would be Crone.
So I'm adding my spells in, but that would actually be a bit of noise, and that might be something that everyone would get to hear. And it's a bit more of a scene than I think we might have time for.
Yeah, we'll come back to it after break.
Cool.
Okay, and then Dax. So you have Click working on these things. He is working in a very meticulous way, right?
Oh yeah, totally.
So yeah, he's working very meticulously to do things correct. What does Dax do for the nightly ritual?
I would like to just go to the entrance of the ship and just inside cast snare.
Perfect. Yeah, no, you for sure. You walk up, you cast snare. The ship has its door, and then just behind it, you cast snare. So that if somebody gets in, they're for sure getting caught.
Perfect. And then I'm going to be going back to my room and just organizing all the new things I've made on my desks. I do want to tinker a few extra communicators just to have in a drawer.
Yeah, for sure. As Dax does, you make a few backups.
Yeah. And then I'm going to go find out why my room's so fucking warm. So I'm going to go up and tinker around on the ship. But
yeah. As you're doing that, the ship is constantly saying stuff to you that's broken. We have a fire in vent 13A. And you're like, this is the same problem we've had for the last week,
explains why it's so fucking hot in here. Come on, man. Check it out.
So Dax, you continue to kind of do tinkering throughout the ship. Okay, Akai. What is Akai's nightly ritual look like?
Well, first of all, as soon as Akai is in his room, there's just music. His whole thing, music comes on the second he walks in. And he gets to go through his wonderful little beauty routine of just making sure the wire twists are correct, and he got kind of busted up in that one fight with the big thunder hammer, whatever crap. So he's making sure that all of his internals are, first of all, covered, and second of all, that any sort of scuffs are buffed out from his face, or like the visible places on his chest, specifically. Otherwise, he's sort of adjusting, making sure that his viruses that he has, that I have to still make a list of, are working effectively. That he probably is waiting whether or not to make an update on that website because of the captain's planning. Effectively, the man makes sure that he's cute and then rocks out until bedtime, unless otherwise needed. So
nice, perfect.
Yeah.
So everybody is kind of starting their nightly rituals. The music playing, click kind of going in that like, okay, I'm going to do this, and here's how many bullets we have of this so far. And Dax, you're crawling through the ship, and like just like as the ship is like giving you errors that are happening, but it does it like as you're doing things. So there's like always one more thing to fix as these things are happening. We're going to go ahead and go on break. We'll be on break for the next 10 minutes. Is that fine?
Yep, sounds good.
Yeah.
All right, 10 minutes, and then we will be back to flow into our scene with Crumb.
All right, sounds good. We'll be right back, everybody.
All right. I
son of a bitch. I hate you all.
All right, so
Monkey
last
see,
we left
monkey
off,
do.
our
Yep.
our players have started their nightly rituals, and as they do, a sound begins to reverberate through the ship, coming from
Hold on.
Crone's. Wait, your captain's quarters?
Yeah.
Please take it away.
One moment. So you guys all begin to hear this sound as this buzzing noise. Dax, this was one that you've heard a few times. Entity, you've heard a time or two as well. But this is the first time you've gotten to actually see it in action. Which is as you enter into the ship, you can hear it going off. Does anyone come to the room, I guess?
I hate to stop you. Zero is attempting to come in,
Yeah, I'm trying.
but he's having a hard time.
Yeah, I'm trying to call him, but
So-
I'm getting no response.
Yeah.
He tried to make a separate call.
Yeah, I know. I canceled that because that would have just. Hey, everybody, we'll be right back. We're dealing with a little technical difficulties, but we'll be right back.
Sorry, guys.
Can we brand teams?
Oh my god. It hurts so much.
I disappeared because I was drinking, and then when I came back, it was already up.
Okay.
Okay, so just prior to Crone, your like what you're doing, Zero, can you please explain like what is Zero's like nightly ritual look like? Like what is the things that Zero does before going to sleep?
Okay, have we set up where Zero is sleeping?
No.
Yeah, I thought we did that before.
Nope.
No?
I don't think
Shit.
so.
Not
No,
at all.
I
no.
think I just wandered
Yeah.
into to
Oh
see.
wait, did they?
I don't have a room currently.
Yes, you do. I
Do I?
actually had
Right.
Click.
Because I just remember being in your space and then being like, "What's this weird machine thing?" And then I don't remember anything else happening.
Wait.
Yeah,
Well, and then
that's
when
what I
I
thought,
kicked you out of my room, I told Click and one other, I can't remember who right now.
Yeah, you
That
told
would be
me to like
Deathbloom?
set him up with
I
the
think-
room.
Yeah,
Oh,
but I don't think you.
Akai
It was
Well,
for
and
communication
Click.
purposes. Yeah, I was picking out the room. You were communicating with them to tell them that this was their room and blah blah blah.
Oh, okay. So yeah, I would have done that.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I have my own room.
Mhm.
Oh, fine.
I have enough empty positions on the ship for everyone to have a room.
Got it. Okay.
We have a turtle map.
This is gonna be real weird. They're not used to having their own room like that, honestly. So, let's see.
So I think that the rooms are going to be 4 and 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 are all rooms, and then underneath is the cargo hold. Where's the captain's quarters at, Crone?
That's
technically where everyone is in right now because
Yeah.
no one actually moved their
Yeah.
tokens out.
Yeah.
I think what I'm going to do. So Siri's gonna go back to the room. And they're gonna set down their new fun hoverboard. And stash away some of their food that Click gave them.
What am I,
And-
chopped liver?
Oh yeah.
Oh,
Look,
right.
it's
Yeah, you gave me
organizing
some
the
too, yeah,
nuts and
didn't you?
bolts in my room.
Right, you gave me like the fun stuff, didn't you?
I gave you the good stuff that doesn't just taste like sugar.
Yeah, I just
Yes.
gave you sugar. It was. Yeah.
Oh wait, no, you gave me the fun stuff. Yeah,
Yeah,
the
I
sugar
did.
Stuff. Yeah, okay. So I is there any like little secret compartment areas that I can find? I'm gonna
I
hide.
have to imagine so.
I'm gonna hide my food, except for one packet of it, and I'm going to kneel down in front of the hoverboard and try to feed it.
Nice.
We're not
Okay.
around, so we don't know.
So Zero is essentially like a raccoon.
Also, I think technically Zero has to pick a room if it's
Yeah.
next to the captain or next to me, effectively.
Okay, so we got this 4, this 5, and this 6.
There's one next
Um,
to the turtle butt too.
If you have a
Next to the turtle butt.
damn, if you have them numbered, we can't see the numbers.
Oh. This room, this room, this room, this room.
Yeah, so you have 4 options, Zero. Where would you like to be?
I think I will be over here.
Yeah, I was about to say, I think only one of those rooms has a window. So-
It has a window.
I think so. Yeah.
So, effectively, like, as everybody is coming onto the ship, you have that kind of mentality of like, okay, it's getting time where I'm going to be a raccoon, I'm going to be a worker, I'm gonna like listen to some beats, and I'm gonna like work on the ship. And as you guys are walking into the ship, you can hear that like really like has like some real volume, like humming, coming from the captain's quarters.
Can I go spy on the captain?
I know what it is, so I'm not really worried about it.
Same.
I'm gonna leave some food for the hoverboard to eat, and then I'm gonna go.
Oh, can I make a note on my door? I have requested a specific modification, and I'm sure it's there, having 6 months gone by, that there's like a round signal on my door, like when I'm playing music, that sort of thing. So there's just like a dancing music note on my door graphic, just to let them know that my music is on, and I probably won't hear them if they knock.
Nice. So I think that, and please correct me if I'm wrong. Everybody has heard this sound before, but nobody's ever actually seen it. And currently, your door's open, right?
So Akai would have heard it maybe once before, but they wouldn't have had the chance to have seen it. Dax has had a chance to kind of know it and see it, just because they've had prior chance. Click and Zero might recognize the sound because they were snooping in my room earlier.
And it turned on.
But
okay,
they wouldn't know what it is. My door is open.
So Akai,
Zero's gonna come down the hallway and just like.
So, raise of hands. Anybody going to check out the captain?
Oh, just not doing that, but for clarification, I heard that noise before. I know it's the sex machine. I don't want to go over there. It was the weird
I've checked
sex.
out the captain plenty of times. I think
Yeah,
I
I'm
made
like,
him to his own devices.
So no, I'm just full of assumptions, and I'm not going to clarify any of them.
Nice. Right, so
just peering from my door to his.
Dax across the way. Zero, you kind of like sneak up, pop a head in. Kron, what's happening?
As you pop your head in, it kind of turned away from you, but you see the machine from earlier turned on. But he's holding it in his right hand, and you can see that he is pressing the end of this thing kind of against his other arm, and it is kind of just vibrating against his arm. And slowly, the longer you watch as he moves down his arm, you realize it's leaving these light blue lines and markings across his skin. And the longer you watch, it goes on for how long would you watch? Would you stay quiet, just watch?
Wait, so okay, hang on. It's leaving
a light glowing mark as he's like running it across his arm.
Yeah, I'm just gonna watch for a while.
So as 30 minutes goes by, you watch as he just starts crafting out this symbol on his arm. And you would even recognize it as a strange variation of like a deep speech style symbol.
I'm gonna look at all the stuff on my skin and see if it resembles anything. Any of the symbols on my like arms or horns or anything.
I don't think that it does.
Okay.
Yeah, this is very specific.
Got it.
It resembles you see like a faint scent of maybe deep speech influence, but it definitely seems a lot of its own nature. as you kind of look at it. You can't quite figure it out. But finally, as he finishes the first one, you see as it bursts kind of this light blue glow, and the whole arm shifts for a moment across his body before shifting right back, and the sigil just sits upon his arm. He turns off the device for a moment, kind of stands, turns around, and looks at you.
Run away.
Run away.
You see the very
The child has
run of Zero running as soon as you turn.
Dude, that's so awesome.
Fear.
Heck yeah.
Wait, real quick. Zero has a tail, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yep, you just see my tail.
Yep. That's what I was doing.
At which point, just kind of gives a nod and goes right back to trying to start draw out the next set of symbols as he changes from one spell sheet that he had, and he begins to redesign the calm emotions spell into what he wants, kind of slowly going back and forth between writing it out, designing, and then drawing it upon himself.
Cool. That's awesome. I love that. You're
They're
there.
traumatizing children in the meantime.
Well, I love that too, but
Zero, as you get back to your room, you find that your hoverboard has not eaten its dinner.
I don't know, man.
I'm gonna poke it.
Oh, oh, oh.
The hum continues throughout the ship for hours longer.
I'm going to pad over to Akai's room.
Hmm?
Is it
Okay.
I'm alive.
What?
Sorry, the light wants to pretend that I don't exist.
Oh, yeah, I noticed that.
I
Okay.
was wondering why you went dark for a
Yeah.
second. I'm like, huh?
Anyway, okay, what was I saying? Oh, yeah.
You're
Is-
padding over to my room.
Yeah, is the music still playing right now?
So the music is playing. It's definitely a different song because it filters through. But it's weirdly like more zen than you would imagine. Because
Can I not?
like he's got such a oh go for it. There is the dancing music note on front. Should I make a perception roll?
Yeah, I'd say that's fair. Yeah, just do it at disadvantage. We'll say it's a DC 10 to be able to hear anything.
Okay. Disadvantage. Bloop. Perception. Bloop.
Nope. You hit knocking on the door, but that music is blasting.
Just a point
Super
of
zen.
reference, though. I would have padded their room because it's so close to mine.
Oh yeah, no, 100%.
It's kind of like you can tell that it's louder on the inside.
There you go.
Is the door locked?
No.
Can I just crack it open?
Oh yeah, of course.
You are assaulted. You are assaulted by Jams.
The whole ship is now alerted that the door has been
Someone has
opened with the
opened the
music
guy's
playing.
door. Oh yeah. Oh, and they're singing inside too. I'm singing along to my shiz. I've got a buffer, like a hand buffer on my face. Just
I was saying
doing-
so much funny stuff, guys. You missed it. I was muted. It was
I was
hilarious.
wondering.
I was gonna ask.
Hilarious.
I'm just gonna slip inside with my hands over my ears.
Okay. I'm gonna assume that a small child, like dark child, in my very brightly lit neon room.
I'm gonna whisper
I'm gonna
into your
assume I
head.
can see them.
Yeah, for sure. Like you're like buffing, singing, like doing your thing, and you turn and like lower it, and then you can see Zero.
Okay. And you're gonna say in my head, Zero?
I was just gonna get your attention in your head by saying, are you busy?
Okay. The music suddenly turned down because I'm not gonna blast it. I'm sure me and Dax have run into the issue of me blasting my music and her being like, "Turn that shit down, or I'm gonna break it."
Yeah, like as soon as that door opened, you just heard very faint Dax. What the fuck?
I love the like just established animosity there. Like,
oh yeah, no. So
again?
I like turn it. Yeah, so I turn it down because I'm like, "Oh shit!" And then I like Morse code knock on this like the wall, like, "I'm sorry."
And you get my like okay back. Doom doom. You're all right.
And I'm confused as
So,
fuck because I don't know what to do. Like, why are you banging on the wall?
we got a
Like,
repertoire here.
You put a nut with the screw. Come on, you gotta pay attention.
Easy there. This is pro bono here. Let me do my thing, all right?
Thank you for your hard work, Click.
Yeah. You
Okay,
get
so
snippy
I'm so I'm gonna say, no, of course not. Like I put the buffer down, and I turn the music off specifically, and I'm like, "Do you want to come sit?" Because I don't have a bed because I can stand, but I have definitely like 2 or 3 like fluffy like chairs to sit on.
They'll
Like
tip
throw
over
pillows.
and sit at the edge of one of the chairs, and look a little bit awkward, and then be like, "What are you supposed to feed the hoverboards?"
Batteries.
It doesn't want to eat.
You don't. You don't technically. You plug it in and it charges sometimes if your battery's low enough, but you should have batteries to. Why do you ask?
Well, I thought things usually need things to survive.
Well, the hoverboard, it's not biological, so you know how I gave you all those like pouches and things because I didn't need them and I just had them. So the hoverboard is like me; it doesn't need them. So you'd like plug it in instead.
They have magic food?
Electricity, more specifically.
Magic food.
Yes? question mark? I'm sure I or Dax could find a cord for it if you wanted.
How often does it need it?
With my experience with like motorized vehicles of this kind, do I know how long a battery life lasts on one of these things?
It depends on how much you use it, but like they generally do like a 200-mile range.
Okay.
Yeah. So it'll last like 8 hours essentially straight of driving.
Okay. So I'd be like, if you charge it overnight, you'd probably be good no matter how much you drove it during the day. I mean, I don't imagine that you're really going for turn her phrase, cross country here, so. Eh.
Do you have a motion
It's
sensor
like Zero
light?
stops paying attention.
Where I'm at right now, yeah.
Oh gosh. Okay.
That's fine.
Wave every once in a while.
I'm alive.
Sorry.
I am alive. Anyway. All right. Okay.
You want me to see if I have a cord for you?
Yes, please.
I'm sure I've had one of these before.
Yeah,
Okay,
you have
so
like backup cords for stuff.
Okay, so I'm gonna go into my, because I definitely have some sort of like closet sunken in area of just full of tech shit. Go into my cords drawer and just pull a couple things out until I find the one I need, and then offer it to them. Be like, so this part goes into the board, and then this part goes into the wall. Because I'm sure you have a plug-in somewhere in. So, and then you will feed your board. Your board will be fed.
Okay.
Anything else you wanted to talk about while you're here?
Do you know what the captain is doing?
I know that it's spell stuff, right, Cap?
Yeah.
Okay. He's doing magic.
Yes, but is it? Does he serve the old gods?
I don't know that he serves any gods, to my knowledge. Let
But he
alone
knows
whether
their
or not they're
language.
seniors. I would assume he has some sort of history with knowing that
And
language. I'm not
he knows
sure.
magic, and magic comes from them, and
Yeah. Are you okay, bud? You seem kind of rattled here.
I'm fine.
Well, I'll tell you what. I promise you that he would not do anything to put us in danger without informing us first and having us in on whatever he's doing. So, yeah.
Do you know what he writes on himself?
As far as I'm aware, he's told us it's spell stuff. I'm not sure what it is exactly. I don't. That's not my purview.
Dangerous.
I can talk with him about it if you want. Get some more insight for you. But I promise you that it would not be dangerous, at least to us, without him telling us. I have a lot of faith in him, and since I've known him, he's never done anything to put me in danger or Dax or anything that I'm aware of. So he's pretty communicative as well. He'll tell us if we need to know something.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm gonna go feed the hoverboard.
Okay, bud. Because I know a little bit about batteries here. When the light, when the indicator light turns green, whatever the color is, for the hoverboard. You can unplug it because that means it's full, and if you overfeed it, you can mess up
sick.
how long the it'll get sick. The hoverboard will get sick. So it'll let you know when it's full.
Got it. Thanks.
Yeah,
I'll
absolutely.
run out the room.
Like, is it like running or is it like sprinting?
Sprint out the room.
Sprinting. Okay, yeah. So Zero turns and sprints out of your room, back to their room. You fumble around for a little while with the charger, but eventually figure out how it goes into the board, and then it takes a while longer to figure out how it goes into the wall and like where it goes into the wall. So for a while, just like going around the wall, and then realizing that the light is not turning green, but eventually figuring that out and then plugging in. So everybody does their nightly ritual, doing all of the things that you would normally do. And then, so we're going to do essentially like a full rest.
Okay.
And generally, who is the first person who wakes up on the ship?
Since I never go to sleep.
Oh, that's fair. Yeah.
Get out of here.
I mean, technically me. All right.
I tend to wake up early.
Okay.
That's all.
I only sleep for 4 hours. So,
Gotcha.
but
Dax,
And I
you-
haven't been
that too,
sleeping.
really.
I only sleep for 4 hours too.
Yeah.
heck
Yeah.
yeah, Dax.
I would basically, when everybody goes to, at the evening thing, whenever he disperses, as soon as I'm aware of somebody being up, so I would be with them. So whenever the first person wakes up, that's when I'm awake. Or that's when I kind of come out of my thing.
So we'll
I
say
feel like I wouldn't sleep very well right now.
yeah, for sure.
I am alive.
I'm still here, damn it.
Everybody does their nightly ritual.
Slacker.
You go to bed, and everybody has a decent night's sleep, except for Zero, having that you're brand new, don't really understand what's going on. But everybody else, it has been a long and trying day, as there has been so much stuff that has happened. And you fall asleep that night, or get rest, and wake up the next morning. There is a thing on the ship that is essentially the ship will send a good morning message, as I'm going to say, Crone, you being the last person who probably wakes up, since everybody else it either doesn't sleep or gets very little sleep to survive. It is when Crone wakes up that the ship sends out this message, essentially just saying good morning and welcome to the next day of work. And you all get pinged that message. Yeah, Kai.
I'm really sorry to slow things down a little bit, but because I wake up and Dax wakes up around the same time, and Crone will be asleep for a couple more hours, what Zero has talked with me about makes me kind of curious. So I'm having a morning conversation with Dax before Crone wakes up.
Okay.
If we want to play through that.
Yeah, perfect. So
Playing nervously.
Yeah.
Manner.
Well,
Perfect.
and I'm assuming it's just you two. So I would this would probably be the time I'm kind of wandering around. This would be my time so that way if I'm assuming you guys want to talk.
Say, click, you're over there. You're wandering.
Yep.
So go ahead. Entity, you think that okay, I have some time before Crone wakes up, and I have a moment to talk to Dax, essentially. So go ahead.
Okay, so I'm gonna. It's really great. As I'm putting my hair up in my ponytail, so the twists are falling around my shoulders here. like hands up, one just sort of goes and like knocks, not like super hard on Dax's door, unless I know that she sleeps super hard, but just like in case she's still early morning waking up kind of thing. Just letting her know that I'm here, and she probably knows my knock depending on, because we've been weirdly animosity via sound for a while.
For sure. Yeah, you have like
loud noise.
yeah. So you have like your and Dax's like knock that you knock. Dax, you know that it's a guy at your door.
It's open.
Okay. So I'm gonna step in here and sort of see what she's doing early morning. I'm sure I've seen this before, but I'm just sort of curious what her early morning routine is like.
Oh, yeah, I'm groggy as shit.
That's entirely fair.
Just trying to figure out what the fuck I actually was doing the night before.
Okay. I'm like, hey, Dex, Bud, sorry about last night. Zero came and saw me.
Really?
And had some concern. Yeah, he had some concerns.
Okay.
Which I don't share those concerns, but now I'm a little curious if your experience is different than mine. And so I get sort of this concerned, but also like I'm asking for posterity's sake kind of look on my face. As I'm like, Captain hasn't done anything that's made you worry about your safety before he told you, right? Like, he's been pretty communicative about what he's doing and like things that we could be endangered by, right?
It's a good assumption. I haven't felt in
Okay.
danger, although I have not felt entirely in the loop as well, but for the most part.
Okay. You know Cratton's spell thing, right?
Yeah.
Like that yeah.
Captain's an
so
open book.
I mean, the man never closes his door, so
Yeah.
also you're canceled.
No.
I have to ask. Oh God, I'm never gonna get that joke out of my head. I have to ask. Has his transcription ever like concerned you? Like made you think that we were in danger or anything? Like,
No.
it's not scary, is it? Do you think?
No, but it keeps me alert. I think we should also be ready. When the captain prepares, so do I.
That's fair. You guys are pretty close, so that makes sense. I think Zero thinks that the captain worships old gods, quote unquote, and it just sort of occurred to me that maybe I don't really know what he writes on himself, and I fully trust him, I really do. But it sort of occurred to me that since I don't have that information, like that knowledge base, maybe I should ask if you had felt anything or been concerned about any of his behaviors at all.
Not concerned, no. Also, no mention of gods. I don't believe he worships any.
I didn't think so either. I don't have any recollection of that. And also, Zero is a kid, so I know that like there's some possibility for misconstruing motives
Very
here.
fair. Yes,
so I wanted to ask in case.
That's fair. Well, I'll let you know if I feel in danger, I'll let you know to prepare when I feel it's ready to prepare, and I'll keep an eye on the cap, let you know.
Okay. Thanks for that. I don't know. I guess Zero's presence has kind of thrown me off a little bit, maybe. Cause he talks about stuff, and I'm like, what point of reference do you have for any of this? And it makes me really concerned, because that kid is super traumatized, and you can super tell. You know?
Well, then we'll just have to be there for them. Unless they turn out to be a spy. But, you know, just be there for them in general.
I highly doubt that kid has any sort of potential to actually be a spy.
Which makes me believe they could be the perfect spy. What's toast? I don't know. They could be a spy.
You're a little more paranoid than I am, but that's okay.
Well, yeah, that's why I prepare all the time, so, you know.
Okay. So long as everything's cool. I heard Click was doing some work for you tonight. Or last night.
Yeah.
How did that go?
Yeah, pretty good. Did a good job. Did a quiet job, which I appreciate. And now I seem to have a list of itemized things, so it's working out. And cool. The walls are not painted, so it is working out.
At least the overhead computer won't tell you that your workspace is messy anymore.
There you go. One last thing for it to bitch at me about.
It is only moderately messy.
Fuck that.
Listen.
Because you're getting...
Listen.
I think I would look good with a new painted coat.
I think you would look good with a wrench in you. Okay, cool, paint.
Do it.
Just like a married couple.
Come
always.
at me, bro.
Come at me, bro. Just, you know, let me know when you and the ship have decided to make it official. It's all good.
Might be a shotgun thing, but sure, we'll let you know.
At least you fixed my thermal cameras.
Questions.
Yeah, right?
Finally.
Whoa!
Well, I'm gonna let you two have this sassafras go on.
Yeah, I seem to be needed.
I'm gonna go. I mean, you know, isn't that what you are for partners? Is you're needed? Anyway, I'm gonna head out. I hope that, you know, as we get started for the day, things are gonna continue to go smoothly. So
sounds good.
I will see you in a couple hours when Captain wakes up and we're all supposed to actually do something.
Alright. Time for breakfast.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Alright, so
I can go back to my space.
Yeah, Kai, you leave, you go back to your space. A few hours later, the ship chimes out a message just saying, "Good morning and welcome to the next day of work. Breakfast will be provided in the mess hall."
Yeah. I never have to tell her when breakfast is coming. The ship does it anyway.
Would that be this area?
It never tells Dax. It's this room.
Oh, okay.
All right, give me just one sec. Yeah, you guys wake up to the morning, kind of like culminate together into this room, and Zero or Chrono, you guys doing anything prior as this message kind of gets sent out?
Do I know if it's supposed to...
What was that?
What's that?
Do I know if there's a place to wash up? Here?
Yeah, there's like personal, like in your personal quarters, there'll be something for you to like get like, you know, your general hygiene. It's just like all compacted in the wall, and it would be impossible for you to know that it's even there.
Got it. Great.
So as far as you know, no.
Alright. I'm going to slowly wander out.
And I'd just get myself ready in the morning and step out and just kind of give a quick walk around the ship, making sure everything's in place and in order.
I'm gonna
Following
wander,
an older
trying to
team.
figure out where I'm supposed to go.
Yeah, Zara, you're wandering around the ship. As you start to like wander, the ship like picks up on your wandering and starts to like illuminate lights for you to try to get you to follow them.
Like a landing strip towards the
Yeah.
mess hall.
It's like you're walking and then like in front of you lights start to come on, but they're like coming on like at like the floor, and it's all like one on either side, and it like illuminates, and then it like turns a corner and like starts to lead you.
Following the light.
Like
Yeah,
a
it
cat.
leads you right to the breakfast hall, and so you get to the mess hall, and you like turn in. Everybody else is in there except for Crone. Crone, you're like out doing something, and but everybody else is in the mess hall. Dax, are you in the mess hall as well?
All I heard was good morning.
Yeah.
I wanted to note as I go, because I'm directly across from the mess hall door. I'm gonna like lean over and just sort of knock on Dax's door and then head into the mess hall so Dax knows
Yeah.
Oh,
that it's time.
And
Yeah, as soon as your door opens, there's like the aroma of food, and you go in. Zero, the ship kind of leads you to that to the mess hall, and you see like a pretty substantial amount of food being that has already been prepared, and there's like all of like classic breakfast. There are, like scrambled egg jellies. There are, pro bacon. Um, your favorite like green slime syrup. Like it's the best stuff.
Okay, anything that
Green
is
eggs and ham.
possible to be transported, I'm gonna start like slipping into my pockets.
Oh yeah, you got some pancakes in your pockets.
do we all see? Do we all see this?
Oh yeah, I mean, is Zero trying to be
I'll
like
roll
stealthy
for-
at it?
Yeah, can I roll
Okay.
for like a sleight of hand? I guess I don't know.
100%. Yeah, slide
Okay.
in.
I want to roll perception.
Yeah, for sure. Everybody can. Because like it's like a little odd. You're like all kind of used to like watching Zero.
Oh, by the way, if there's like chairs and a table, I want to be on a counter. Like not and I'm just kind of sitting up there because I don't take up that much space. I'm like, there's a coffee
sure.
maker and like me,
Yeah, for sure.
and I'm like just digging through stuff.
Yeah, Kai, you see everything. You're like, that dude got pancakes in his pocket.
I just went on my passive, which is 11. So I'm like, digging around, whatever.
Crone, what are you doing right now?
So Crone, part of his like standard morning thing just before he makes it to breakfast was always to kind of do a quick trip around the ship, just kind of a double check everything, take inventory. He is that orderly type person. He understands each person's individualism, but he likes to be rather tight and orderly. At least more recently he has been. Over the last year, it's been a big change. So the ship's not in great order, but it's something changed, and he's shifted a lot.
Since I'm out of the room, there's just like the big red sort of circle with the line through it of like, nope, nobody's here. Just
Gotcha.
as you pass my door.
And he knows, for the most part, in the morning, he just does that quick trip around the ship, just taking a look at everything before he comes into the mess hall. Usually it's just that he's checking everything and giving you all that time before the captain has to walk in.
Right. So as you approach and kind of come inside of that like mess hall area, you kind of like done this like walk around. Everybody sitting at the table, and as Crone, as you walk in, click, you get a message on your tablet.
Okay.
And it's from Herkin Bert.
You almost said it.
And it says, we don't know if this is important or not. Do you know anything about children?
Oh shit.
And this just came just to me, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Hold on, I got to roll for stupid. Sorry.
Please clarify.
Yeah.
Do not.
They are small,
Okay.
small life forms.
I go high on stupid, so I will reply. No, not really. I don't know. I mean, there's a kid here, but no. And I'll reply, no, not really. I don't know much about kids,
Okay.
and I don't tell anybody.
Yeah, no, for sure. They get your reply, and then what they message back is like, "Oh, okay, we got a weird transmission intercept between a encrypted line and Opal Gree, and it's mentioning children, but we weren't sure if it was important. Must not be."
Shit.
I'll reply, stand by, and then I'll send it to everybody in the room. The thing. This might be a thing. Opal Gree might be in on the stealing kids thing.
Oh, that's gross.
It would make sense. The local government doesn't pay them much heed if they are working for something more.
Okay, he gave us that information, but I don't know if he's going to charge us. You want me to ask for more info? I don't know what our budget is here.
Well, they're asking if we knew about the children. Reply back, we believe it has to do with a slaving operation.
Verbatim, when he says it, I type it and send it.
Perfect. They send you something back right away that says, please take this information and use it to the best of your ability. If there's anything that we can't stand, it's stuff that happens to children. Leaving like a couple of like ... dots. Give me a, I'm going to say, click a wisdom saving throw.
Oh shit.
It's not that bad.
You
I'm
get
not
like
saying your roll.
Oh, sorry.
You get a like gut check that's why they were so like receptive to you, and that something has obviously happened to them because you came to them pretending to be like a kid.
Yeah, okay.
And like in this email, them sending it back to you in this like message, something happened.
Okay.
And they say we can't stand anytime that anything happens to a kid, and they send you a copy of this transmission. Now I'm going to share it with everybody.
Okay.
But I would like it to be read out loud.
Okay.
But this is just to click, right? This is just, they're just sending it to click?
So they're sending it to click. But I'm assuming that click will end up sending it to everybody else.
Yeah.
But I would like it to be read out loud, please.
Okay.
For posterity, for everybody else.
Sure, no problem. All right. From encrypted email, I'm not going to read out the machine address. Sent Friday, 9th, 4320, 6:10 p.m. to Opal Gree, Captain Rule Talon. Subject, children. Captain, thank you for the most recent shipment of goods. The girl is exactly who we were looking for. She states that she does not know why she felt compelled to our station. The priests have assured me that they have been trained to come together even if they are across the universe from each other. Continue to search the Citadel. There will be more children coming soon. We need 2 more and then our work will be done. Codenames are as follows: Red Flower, Narcotic Moon. If you find more, we will need to implement a new plan. His daughter can only go missing so many times before the citizens become suspicious. We already are monitoring and deleting any conspiracy theories dealing with his daughter. And then from Opal Greed to Captain Rule, Friday, Uth 10, 4320 at 3:11 a.m. 2 encrypted email. Subject: children. Yeah, no shit. It's obvious to our troops that anyone with half a brain will be able to figure it out. I'll chat with Volkir and see what he thinks the best option is. We need to switch suppliers. Tito's doesn't know anything, but they might get wise if we use them too often. Too important to off need the supplies. I'm not sure what that.
So it's like too important to off, need the supplies.
Oh, okay. Now. Sorry.
Comma.
I'm missing the comma. I was confused. Talent out. Sorry.
And it's Necrotic Moon.
It's what?
Necrotic Moon.
Where?
Code name Necrotic Moon, not Narcotic Moon.
Oh. I'm not wearing my glasses.
Equally troublesome.
You're lucky you got that. I'm an old man.
As Flick reads out this message to everybody, like now fully understanding how, like, where you are in the situation, the code names, they, as they are being read, Zero, you can understand people now, and your brain like goes a million miles an hour when Click says Red Flower, as a stream of emotion hits you, and with like insanely fast, a million miles an hour, as you are flickered images of being in a area. You are blindfolded. You are being led somewhere, and the last thing you hear is one of your sisters, as being led away, says, "But where are we going?" And a vision appears to you as you remember this, slightly older kid to you with bright red hair. And that's where we're going to end our session.
No!
Can I do one quick thing that I forget, that when I
of course you can do one quick thing.
Sorry, when I sent the message to everybody, but to only the captain, I would say they seem to be particular about children. Just maybe something we could use to our advantage if necessary. Just throwing it out there.
And
noted.
We will leave there as Crone's voice, noted, echoes out into Click's mind. And that is where we're going to leave it tonight. Thank you all for watching. I hope you enjoyed this episode of Eta Carinae. And we will be live again in 2 weeks. Max, please take it away.
Oh,
hey guys,
can I do one thing real quick? Because it's kind. I got to.
Did one thing.
That was the before thing. This is the after thing.
Oh,
just
the after the one thing.
I know it's an announcement,
not
and
the second thing.
because of my campaign. So our 95th and final session of Tomb of Annihilation will be this Sunday at 5 p.m. Pacific. So yes, it's the end of it, like more than 2 year campaign, and yeah, 95 sessions we did. So yeah, just wanted to invite you.
Travis is so ready to have it be over.
I'm I was a placeholder. I was this 2 year over 2 year campaign was supposed to be. Sure, we need somebody until I'll do it until the real DMs show up. I don't know. I didn't know what I was doing, but it was a placeholder that lasted for 2.5 years. But yeah, so it's going to be finishing. So invite all to see how everybody dies. So there you go.
Hey.
Come on.
All right. And with that, everyone, we hope you guys had a wonderful watch this evening, night, morning, afternoon, wherever it is that you are. We hope to see you Sunday. Have a good one, delinquents. Bye.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.